Hey vinyl community, it's Mazzy here, and I didn't expect Tiny Tin to come on now. This is a thread on genre-specific vinyl comps. Okay, there's a thread going around that James Griffith in the UK started, showcasing about 10 genre-specific vinyl comps. So I'm jumping on that thread. James always has kind of really creative and wonderful specific themed threads, and I love that. Some of my favorite threads that I jump on and videos that I make are concept driven, and so this is another one. Is that gonna like get in the way there? I thought it would be instrumental. In the background while I'm doing this comp video, it's Legends of the Ukulele. Now the Beatle connection here obviously is George Harrison was an avid fan of the ukulele, the instrument. He has a house well, the family still has a house in Hawaii. He's played it on some of his records, including the end of the Free as a Bird video. And he's a fan of the ukulele, so this is a great comp of the ukulele. So, comps. First one is a two-parter. I'm going to start in alphabetical order. Actually, I'm going to start with A, but it won't be alphabetical order here. So I've showed this before amongst my all-time favorite comps, even though it started, I think one's 10 years ago, one's 3 years ago. Volume 1 and 2 of the African Scream Contest. Analog Africa, great comps of African and African music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and also they're doing a lot from South America. But these two especially, Analog Africa, great label. I am going to be doing down the line a feature on the collection I have of Analog Africas. They're just amazing, upbeat, make you feel good music. This one goes raw and psychedelic Afro sounds from Benin and Togo in the 70s. And this one is volume 2. And this goes beyond volume 1. What a concept. Right there, that's a concept. So, an amazing collections. Just a great label. I've been picking up a lot of their stuff through their Bandcamp site, and they come from Germany, and they're wonderful. One of my favorite comps, this happens to be a 4 LP collection, and this is Electric Muse, the story of folk into rock. And this showcases the very best United Kingdom and United Kingdom folk rock artists. Everyone from Dave Lang, Robert Shelting. Oh no, they're the ones that created this thing. Steel Eye Span, Chieftains, Fairport Convention, Jim John Bob, Robert Copper, Hedgehog Pie, John Martin, Island record artist, Davy Graham, of course, a great guitar player, John Renbourn, Bert Jansch, Ralph McTell, Roy Harper, John and Beverly Martin together, as well as John Solo, Pentangle, Steel Eye Span, I already said, Traffic, John Barleycorn Must Die, Shirley Collins, the great Shirley Collins, Lindisfarne, Richard Thompson, and beyond and beyond and beyond. Really great collection of music of British folk rock, amongst my favorite genre of music, and this is a great collection. So, going into the 1960s, early 60s, 1964 and 5 is Mercy Beat, and this is the Sound of Liverpool, 34 tracks by 21 Liverpool groups from the 1960s. Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, the Shakers, the Dennisons, the Mojos, the Cascades, the Searchers, the Mercy Beats, the Big Three, King Size Taylor and the Dominoes, Freddie Starr and the Midnighters, Mark Peters and the Silhouettes. I said the Undertakers. This is a really great comp, UK comp that I got in the 70s. and has a wonderful reproduction of Mercy Beat, the music newspaper from Liverpool in the Mercy beat at the time. Of course, the Beatles aren't on here for obvious reasons, licensing, but this is a cool comp because this is the stuff that we don't already have, or most of us don't have. Maybe we have the Searchers, but not many of the other things. So great comp of that. The great Columbus, Ohio soul label called Capsule Label. This is volume 1, number 1, Eccentric Soul. Soul label from from Ohio, that put these records out in the late 60s. And my friend the archivist gave me this as a gift several years ago for my birthday. And it's really a wonderful collection. This is Numero Group double LP set. One of my all-time favorite, and I've showed this before, I've done a comp video before of collections, is from Bam Bam to Cherry O Baby, UK copy, an amazing reggae. Very simple, only 10 songs, but it's got Toots and the Maytals, Desmond Decker and the Aces, Eric Donaldson, Hopetown Lewis, and the Chosen Few. And this is an incredible record. Just a feel-good up record, just brief, but a wonderful comp of reggae music. Bottleneck Blues Guitar Classics, 1926 to 1937. Amazing people like King Solomon Hill, Barbecue Bob, Robert Johnson, of course, Black Ace, Jim and Bob, the genial Hawaiians. Not the violent Hawaiians or the angry Samoans, but the genial Hawaiians. Weaver and Beasley, Ramblin' Tom, Oscar Woods, Buka White, and Irene Scruggs. Kind of just a nice bottleneck feel guitar work from the 20s and 30s. Nice collection. Keeping with sort of an older feel, OK was a label that Columbia was attached to Columbia at one point. Some old electric music, 78s to it, some of them at the time. This is a Columbia comp from the 70s, I believe. Oh, 1982, excuse me, called OK Western Swing. And this has Roy Newman and his boys, the Blue Ridge Playboys, Crystal Spring Ramblers, Bog Wills, and the Texas Playboys is probably the artist that most people know when they think of Western swing cowboy music. A lot of tunes from Bob Wills and Texas Playboys. Sons of the Pioneers is one of my favorites. Their rendition of Water is just and Tumbleweed, Tumbling Tumbleweed was great too. Let's see who else is on here. Adolf Hoffner and his orchestra, Sons of the West, the High Flyers. Wonderful comp and great music. Again, I've said this many times on my channel, I'm a big fan of country swing and cowboy music, and this is kind of a cool collection. If you see it, pick it up. A Verve collection. I collect all these Verve records, and I believe this one too. Most of these are mastered by Robert Ludwig, and these came out from about 76 to 80, 81. Anytime you see these Verve collections, I would pick them up because they're the older jazz stuff from Verve, but really good. This is a comp of Masters of the Modern Piano, 1955 to 1966. It has Mary Lou Williams with Dizzy Gillespie. It has Cecil Taylor. It has Bud Powell, the great Bud Powell on here. There's Wynton Kelly and there's Bill Evans, all several cuts by each artist, sort of a nice collection of several of Verve's piano players with great liner notes, probably by Leonard Feather. Oh no, this is Gary Giddens, a jazz critic for the Village Voice. But I'd say anytime you get a chance to pick these comps up, they're really wonderful comps and a great introduction to jazz, mostly for the most part, of the Blue Note classic stuff. And everyone's, everyone creams in their jeans for Blue Note and the other things, but the Verve, little older stuff of Verve is just amazing. Now this is an amazing box set I bought my end of my record days in the late 70s, I believe. Oh, this came out in the mid 80s, so never mind. But Atlantic box set. Atlantic Rhythm and Blues, 1947 to 74. And these were available singles, I believe. It's 7 volumes, so it has 47 to 74. It's got, well, it splits up the years, but it's a great R&B stuff on Atlantic Records, all the way till to the mid 70s. Really great overview if you like Atlantic, and who doesn't? I mean, Atlantic R&B. Come on, if you don't like it, you're not American. And actually, a lot of you are not American. You're Canadian or European. And lastly, 3 things. I have this whole collection. I'm going to put a link below because I did a video, one of my earliest videos of the Warner Brothers Lost Leaders. Here are 3 of them, just as an example. I think this was the first one, or amongst the first. I think this is the first. And what would happen is, back in the late 60s, there would be inserts in most Warner Brothers records. Let me see if there's one here. Yeah, here we go. The Lost Leaders. For $1 per record, you'd send in. So most of them were 2 record sets for $2, and I sent away for every single one. So I have an extensive collection of these. You'd get these great comps of samplers of Warner Brothers releases, and with books and liner notes of each artist. So for instance, early on, remember this is 1969, Neil Young, Cinnamon Girl, Grateful Dead, Doing That Rag, Jeff and Maria Muldaur, the Everly Brothers, Doug Kershaw, Arlo Guthrie. Let's see, who else is on here? Fats Domino, The Kinks, Frank Zappa. You know, if you know all the, David Blue is on here, who's getting a little bit of a resurgence here, even though he's passed away. Pentangle, Joni Mitchell, John Renbourn, Peter, Paul and Mary, Randy Newman, Ella Fitzgerald, Pearls Before Swine. This is a fun cover, like an old menu. This has Jackie Lomax, Randy Newman, Norman Greenbaum, Ron Nagel, Gordon Lightfoot, The Beach Boys, The Kinks, John Baldry, Deep Purple, Big Mama Thornton, Ry Cooder. So you can imagine, but these whole series are really great and they're fun records. And there are some rare tracks here and there that either didn't make it or were from singles. So interesting collection. Again, I'll put a link down. If you're into this, watch the entire series, my entire little presentation of the Warner Brothers Lost Leaders. So that basically brings 10 plus a bonus. And James Griffith, I'll put a link to his initial video. Again, this is my version of genre comps. Actually, I realized this isn't a genre comp. I guess I'm cheating. Sorry. Well, that's my bonus one then. Just a great series of comps because it really mixes up genres. So that's one of those that you shake up. I could call that a whack-a-mole genre comp. Mazzy loves you. Next time.